Don't mind. Yesterday at the Fort Lauderdale office, we had a guest speaker talking to us about Michael Lewis marketing. And for any of the Alan Waxman Group people who were in Fort Lauderdale that missed yesterday's meeting, or anybody from Coral Springs, please get on today's meeting with John Dietz's group in Coral Springs. It's a phenomenal opportunity for us all.
Great job, Alex. Thank you. Great job, Alex. And if Nellie or anybody else that's a part of our executive leadership team with the Waxman Group would post the Zoom link for the Coral Springs team meeting in the chat section, I would greatly appreciate it. And everybody's welcome. Even if you're not from here, jump on, have fun. Okay, so I am a quote ninja. And we're going to start with a couple quotes on the power of thought. Remember that success is 90% mindset and 10% skill set. Hey, by the way, on an unrelated note, but maybe not, because it's definitely affecting my mindset right now. For those of you who have had any kind of history with lower back issues, I threw mine out last night. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, it literally feels like somebody's sticking a knife in my lower back. So if my face expression starts to look like I'm angry, I'm not, just in a lot of pain. But I'm welcome
to my world, John.
There you go, Corey, right?
It could be worse. It could be worse, John. It could be worse.
Dude, it took me 30 minutes to get out of bed this morning. 30 minutes just to sit up slowly and get in a position where I could sit up and get out of bed.
It'll be all right.
Too much information, I'm sorry. All right, where I am today, we tell ourselves, is a consequence of what other people and circumstances have done to me. In blaming other people in events, we weaken our power. We argue, it's not my fault. As soon as we subscribe to this line of thinking, our chances for any kind of success dramatically decline. So next time somebody asks you, how's the market? Now, if it's a buyer or a seller, that's a different conversation. I'm talking about anybody in real estate. Here's my answer when somebody asks me, how's the market? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I know what my goal is, and I know that no matter what the market is doing, I can achieve my goal. I might have to work harder. I might have to be more focused. I have to might work with more energy and intention, and I can still hit my goal. So it doesn't matter. The market is not responsible for my results. I am. By the way, if you're taking notes, you should write that down. All right, so if 90% of success is mindset, then all we have to do is focus on improving our mindset, right? Wrong. Because if you don't dedicate the time to master the 10%, which is skill set, mindset without skill set equals failure. You have to master the 10%. So what is the 10%? 15 things. I'm going through them quickly, and then we're going to dive deep. Scripts and dialogues, lead generation, closing for the appointment. For those of you who are on the call that haven't been on the call with us the last week, and you're like, holy cow, John, slow down. I can't write this down. This is being recorded, and it will be on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page later today. Closing for the appointment, best practices for follow-up, recognizing opportunity and closing for the listing appointment. Recognizing opportunity and closing for the listing appointment. 6, creating CMAs and mastering pricing strategies. If you were on James Shaw call this morning, you heard about mastering the market, mastering pricing, and being a local economist of choice. As a real estate professional, it is your job to understand what's happening in your market. It's your job to understand how that affects the people that you work with, because getting somebody's home sold is more about strategy than it is about determining how much the home is worth. If I'm sitting at your kitchen table and we're talking about listing your house, my job is not to determine what the value of your home is. My job is to help you create a strategy that will get your home sold. Let me explain that. The value might be $605,000, but the strategy to get your home sold within 30 days with multiple offers so that you can move to Atlanta and be with your family could be to price your home at $595, because the market from $575 to $600 could be a lot more attractive than the market from $6 to $625. And even though your home is worth $605 or $610, the right strategy in order to get the highest price for your property and get it sold within 30 days could be to price it at $595. By the way, can I price my home at $595 and sell it for $610? Yes. Can I price my home at $610 and sell it for $595? Yes. However, if I priced my home at $610 and sell it for $595, it probably took me 90 days or 120 days or even longer. Whereas if I would have priced it at $595, I could have sold it at $610 in less than 30 days. I know that was fast, right? Sorry guys, when I get excited, I talk a little bit faster. All right, number 7, delivering consultative listing presentation to sellers and buyers. You wanna master something, start with that. Start with that. Mastering your seller listing presentation is the most important skill that you will master. And if you were not part of my 14-point listing presentation, we went over for a week and a half. It's on my YouTube page. Just go watch all 12 videos. Master your listing presentation. One of the reasons that's the most important skill that you can master is because it gives you the confidence to pick up the phone. If I've mastered my listing presentation, Alex, and I'm making lead generation calls, I'm having fun. This is fun. I can't wait to get to the plate because I know I'm going to hit it out of the park. If I haven't mastered my seller listing presentation, Mike, and somebody says, sure, come on over and tell me what you could do to get my home sold, I'm like, holy cow, now what? Uh-oh. I don't have the confidence to go on that appointment. Therefore, I don't have the confidence to make the appointment. All right. Number 8, overcoming objections. Number 9, mastering 3 simple closing strategies. 10, studying activity and feedback and making adjustments. 11, creating buyer and seller urgency. 12, asking harm's way questions. 13, perspective. Perspective is skill set. Helping your clients have the right perspective is skill set. Number 14, negotiating offers. And 15, service first, sales second. All right, let's pick up where we left off yesterday. Recognizing opportunity, best practices for follow-up, and recognizing opportunity and closing for the listing appointment. All right, success happens in the follow-up. So does failure. The reason we succeed is because we follow up without exception. In other words, follow up forever. Persist without exception. Everybody follows up. Everybody persists until they don't. The difference between failure and success, the difference between a mediocrity and mastery when it comes to selling real estate, when it comes to mastering the skill set of follow-up, is persistence without failure versus just persistence. Because everybody persists until they don't. Everybody follows up until they don't. And I'm simply telling you, follow up forever. All right. When you meet with a potential seller, checking on the time, guys, sorry. When you meet with a potential seller, follow up the next day. It's a follow-up call and it's a personal note. And the follow-up call is simply, hey, Victoria, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised. Every time I call somebody on a follow-up call, that's my script. And I'm letting them know I keep my promises. Remember the 3 questions every seller is asking about you. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? If you tell somebody you're good at follow-up and then you don't follow up, can they trust you? No. So Victoria, John Dietz, following up as promised. I'm sure you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. I just wanted to thank you for meeting with me yesterday. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm looking forward to helping you sell your home. How simple is that? Now, send a handwritten personal note very same day. And people get hung up on this with, what should I say? And by the way, use a Sharpie marker. I'm looking for one so I can show you. Not like you guys don't know what a Sharpie marker is, but here, my bag of markers. Pick a Sharpie marker so that it writes big in the note, and then that way you don't have to write a book to fill up the note, because we feel like we have to fill up the note. Cool, use a marker, fill it up. The note simply says, thank you for taking time out of your day to visit with me. I enjoyed meeting with you, and I'm looking forward to helping you sell your home. Simple, right? That's it. Make it a great day. John, your name's not John. Don't sign John. That's not good. All right. So day one, you're going to send a personal note and you're going to make a phone call. 3 days later, I'm going to call again. So in 1 week, they've heard from me 3 times. And it's simple. Hey, Corey, John Dietz, following up as promised. Just wanted to check in and see how things are going for you. Is your home still available? Have you had any offers? What kind of feedback are you hearing? If you didn't write those questions down, is your home still available? Have you had any offers? What kind of feedback are you hearing? Now, on this call, or possibly the next call or the next call, when you're hearing everybody loves my home, your response to that is, that's awesome, you have a beautiful home, and have you had any offers? No. But the feedback is everybody loves my home. Don't forget, as a script. Now, is it possible, Mark, is it possible that buyers are telling you they love your home because you own the home? Is it possible they're not being 100% honest with you? What if I were to call those buyers for you and get feedback for you? Would you want to hear what they have to say to me? How about if I stop by tomorrow and bring you a sign-in sheet so the buyers can sign in, and I'll stop by every 2 or 3 days and pick it up and make calls for you. Or you can email it to me. And then I'll call those buyers and I'll give you feedback on what the buyers thought about your home. Would that be valuable? Now, you're providing a service. You're showing that you care about them. You're also getting a list of buyers, guys. Hello. These are buyer leads that if property they looked at is not the right home for them, cool. You have an opportunity to convert that buyer to someone who's working with you and go sell them a house. All right, second week. Second week through the 4th week, I'm gonna make 1 call per week. So we followed up 3 times in week 1. 1 was a personal note, 2 were calls. In the following 3 weeks, I'm gonna call once every week. And every time, it is, hey, Eddie, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised. Thank you for taking my call. I'm sure you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. Just wanted to check in and see how everything is going. By the way, that might be the only question you have to ask. If you're talking to a high I, it probably is the only question you have to ask. They're just going to start talking to you, and which is great, by the way. Now listen to what they're saying and look for opportunity. And as soon as you see opportunity, close for the appointment. Remember, work like a farmer, think like a hunter. Working like a farmer is planting seeds. That's going on the appointment. Watering and fertilizing, that's your follow-up until the crop is ready. Think like a hunter is the crop's ready. You see opportunity. And as soon as you see opportunity, close for the appointment. Now, what does opportunity look like? Or what does opportunity sound like? Frustration, in one word, frustration. So if I were to say to Eddie, hey, Eddie, how are things going? And I hear, you know, they're okay. And I'm not getting as many showings as I thought I would. Interesting. Eddie, just curious, what does a great buyer look like to you?
No
Now,
idea.
Eddie, say it again, Eddie.
No idea.
No idea. Can I share what a great buyer looks like to me?
Please.
Yeah, so a great buyer is someone who is in town for the weekend to buy a house. Or a great buyer is someone who sold their home yesterday and they need to find a home to move into within 30 days. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
Now, if you were that buyer, are you out driving around looking at for sell by owners, or are you working with a realtor like me?
Yes, with you, because those buyers don't have time
Yeah,
to waste.
yeah. Now, if you're the agent who's working with that buyer, are you driving them around showing them for sell by owners, or are you showing them properties that are listed by a professional like me?
With a realtor, for sure.
No. So Eddie, if you're not attracting one of those buyers, then who are you attracting?
Rejected buyers by brokers.
Yeah, I guess maybe everybody else. So it's possible that the reason you're not getting as many showings as you thought you would is because you're not attracting the right buyers, or you're not visible to the right buyers. Now, if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. However, if you were to list your home with a professional, you would want to hire an aggressive agent like me, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Of course. And if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you like to see how I could do that?
Yep.
Yeah. There's the appointment. Made a follow-up call, asked one question. How are things going? And in the answer, I saw frustration. As soon as I saw frustration, I recognized opportunity. I asked a couple questions to get to the closing question. And the closing question is, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Now, if they say, I don't want to list my home, cool. I don't want to list your home either. I want to help you sell it. And aren't you at least curious what I could do to attract the right buyer and get your home sold? I want to get face-to-face even if they're not ready. Okay, the next week, it's the same call, and I'm going to repeat it so you guys get this. Mark, it's John Dietz, following up his promise. Thank you for taking my call. I know you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. How's everything going? Is your home still available? Have you had any offers? What kind of feedback are you hearing? The following week, it's the same question. Now, when we get into month 2, I'm going to call once every other week, and it's the same call. And when we get to month 3, I'm going to call once every 3 to 4 weeks, and it depends. And if they're still on the market 6 months from now, I might back off to once every 6 weeks, but I'm never going to stop calling. Even if they take their home off the market, even if they decide they're not selling, even if they tell me, okay, we're staying put for another couple of years, cool. You're in my database. I've adopted you. I'm going to keep calling you forever. All right, take yourself off mute. Talk to me.
John?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Valerie.
Yes, hi.
So if you were calling a FSBO and they say, oh, I just signed a contract, how often would you follow up with them then? Because we know deals do fall apart.
So a contract for purchase or a contract to list their home?
No, a contract for purchase.
Yeah.
You know,
So
somebody came to their open house or something.
yeah.
You know,
So
they're doing it themselves.
yeah. So Valerie, that's a great question. And I'm going to continue to follow up on the same follow-up plan, just in case the deal doesn't go through. Matter of fact, when I call and I hear we just signed a contract, My response is, that's awesome. When are you closing?
Gotcha.
Just out of curiosity, what's the inspection period? How many days does the buyer have to do an inspection on your property? Is it an as-is contract, or what are the repair limits? Is the buyer paying cash, or are they getting a mortgage? Did you get a pre-approval, or did you get a pre-qual?
Pre-qualification.
Thank you. Did you get a pre-approval, or did you get a pre-qual? Did you talk to the lender just out of curiosity? Hey, you know, just out of curiosity, does the buyer of your home need to sell their home in order to purchase your home? How do you know? Did you ask? Do they have a home that they need to sell in order to get their mortgage? Because even if it's not contingent on them selling their home, it's contingent on them selling their home if they can't get a mortgage without selling their house. What am I doing, guys? What kind of questions are these?
Arm's way.
Thank you. I am taking them to pain and parking, and yes, they're gonna hate it. And by the time I get off the phone with them, they're gonna go, oh my gosh, what did we do? By the way, according to the National Association of Realtors, if that contract happened, Valerie, with no real estate agent involved, they've got a 33% chance of closing. Talk to me, Paige. Paige, I think you had something to say.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Hey, John.
Yes, talk to me. There we go.
So I'm seeing, boy, I'd say 75 to 80% of all FSBOs are getting sold, you know, by the owner.
Yep.
Either an agent's bringing them a deal, or, you know, they were able to find someone to buy their property.
Yep.
Is there any other strategy to pursue, given, you know, the light inventory that we have right now? It just, you know, because it just seems like they're just too happy, right? They're like, oh yeah, I had 7 showings, I got presented 3 offers, 1 was cash, 2, you know, I was like, oh my God, you know, so.
Yeah, I sold real estate in that market too. It was 2004, 2005 before the crash. So I've dealt with this as well. And they're still better off hiring a realtor. They just don't know it. And you just have to keep hanging in there and keep having these conversations to help people self-discover, because remember, they won't change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information to help them self-discover that they're better off selling with you than they are selling on their own. And also remember that for sell by owners is just one bucket of opportunity of the many that we talk about on this call. So expired listings, you're going to start seeing more expired listings in the high price ends, because the market there is 6 months, 7 months or more, and you're going to see properties coming off the market. And don't forget, circle prospecting, do that every day. We talked about that yesterday. And follow up on those circle prospecting calls, very similar, except their home's not on the market. You're not asking them if their home is still available, have they had any offers, what the feedback. Follow up on a circle prospecting call is simply, hey, David, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty, following up as promised, just checking in to see how you are. It's a care call. Is there anything I can do for you today? That's it. Now, are you going to do that every week? No, that's stalking. And I would make sure I talk to them at least once a month. It's a care call, just to stay in touch. But Dave, hang in there on those for sell by owners. Don't give up.
Okay.
Okay.
John, Karen Lockley has a question.
Yes.
Karen Lockley's asking, how do we deal with rent to own?
Oh, that's a great question. So get a hold of the owner and ask them if we had a full price offer on their property, would they want you to bring the offer? Somebody who is renting their property, there's a sign in the front yard says for rent. It's for rent by owner. It's not listed with a realtor. Call the owner of that home and say, I noticed that your home is for rent. Just curious, if I were able to bring you a full price offer on your home, would you consider selling? And if I didn't answer that question, please let me know, because I'll answer it differently.
Okay, great. And then Louise Weiss wants to know your Facebook page.
John Dietz.
Okay. Paige, give You're there, so why don't you ask your question?
Hold on one second, guys. Let me see if I can bring it up. I'm pulling up my Facebook page if it looks like I'm looking around in circles. So hang on. Go ahead.
Nisi Draper just put it on the link.
Oh, see, there we go. Love that.
And the question.
Love
Yes.
that.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's pretty powerful. 33% chance of closing with no realtor involved. Do we know the percent with one realtor and two?
Yeah, it jumps to 66% with one real estate agent. And with two agents involved, according to the National Association of Realtors, it's only 80%. By the way, know your number. In other words, when you put a property under contract, what's your closing ratio? Because that's part of the value proposition that you bring to someone in a listing conversation.
It's great. Thanks.
Yes. Mindy, you've got your hand up. Talk to me.
I do. I was just typing it in the chat. So I followed your script and I called a FSBO, and she's already priced 10% over market.
Mhm.
And when I said to her about coming to see her home to see if I have a buyer, she, number one, said the COVID reason that I couldn't come. And then she said, well, you can just look at the pictures. And I said, well, pictures don't tell the true story. Well, I didn't use true. I said, don't show the full story the same way a video or me coming through would see it. And she said, well, I guess you would expect to get paid if you brought a buyer. I said, well, yes. And she says, well, then I'd have to price it even higher if I was going to pay a buyer's agent. So she's already overpriced. And now she's saying she has to raise it even higher. And I followed up with her once already. And I noticed that my business card was removed from her mailroom because I mentioned it was there. So I'm just wondering how to do a follow-up with her at this point.
Cool, Mindy. So there's a couple conversations here. You gave me a couple of objections, and there's also a mindset conversation here. First of all, what they're asking means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So don't pay attention to that.
Okay.
Because if it's overpriced, who cares?
Right.
And that's typical for sell by owner too, by the way. So first of all, don't pay attention to the price, because a lot of real estate agents will use that as a reason to judge away opportunity. In other words, I'm not going, they're out of their mind. Why would I go see the house? They're $10,000 overpriced. And don't be surprised if it's $50,000 overpriced. All right. The second point is when somebody asks you what your commission is or how are you going to get paid? Sure, of course, my fee is 3% to represent the buyer if you accept the offer. It doesn't cost you anything for me to come see your house. It doesn't cost you anything for me to bring you an offer. The only time you're going to pay me is if I sell your home. And the only reason you would sell your home is if I bring you an offer that nets you the number you need to net, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you're not going to pay me any money unless you like the offer and you net what you want. And my fee in that situation is 3%. Now, if she says other real estate agents have offered to bring a buyer for 1%, cool. How many offers have they brought you?
Love it.
How much money are you saving because they're not bringing you any offers? By the way, what's your holding cost every month your home doesn't sell? And when I bring you an offer, you share with me what you feel I'm worth. And if I'm able to work for that, we've got a deal. If you're asking me if my fee is negotiable, 100%. When I bring you an offer, if I need to negotiate my fee in order to make the deal happen, I will, because I'm a deal maker, not a deal breaker.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. 9:05. And I'm not going to share the screenshot again just because of time. Guys, don't forget to register for Aaron Kaufman if you haven't already. If you dropped your name and your email address in the chat, that's awesome, because I'm saving chat right now. Good. Saved. For all of you with the Waxman Group, look for the email today. Go in, log on, and register. And time to get to work. 20 contacts, not 19, not 18, not 17. Remember, close enough is not good enough. If you make 19 contacts, not 20, the 20th contact could be a $500,000 listing that hires you today. If that's a 3% commission, you lost $15,000 because you didn't make the 20th contact. The greatest strategy in life is not that we fail, it's that we almost succeed, and there we are. Judge yourself on your victories, not your failures. I am not judged by the number of times I fail. I am judged by the number of times I succeed. And the number of times I succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times I can fail and keep trying. 20 conversations today. The purpose of every conversation is to get an appointment, period. Or add somebody to your database, standard. Or get a referral. Add one person to your database every single day. Use command, use smart plans, and write 5 handwritten personal notes today. Follow up forever. Reject rejection. No is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. Make it a great day, everybody.
Feel better, John.
Thank you,
John.
John.
I feel better. Hope your back's better.